What's up, football fans? It's your boy Jay Tuck, and are you tired of the same old football shows when it's a bunch of and no one's really talking ball? It's just a bunch of hot takes and clickbait and gibberish. Well, you are in the right spot, but maybe you're an NFL fan, but you are also a fan of a college football team, and you want a channel that can do both. You are in the right spot. If you love the game of football, maybe you played it or maybe you watched it since you was a young pup, but you want to be educated when you watch football. You want to have analysis and insight, and you want a channel that can do some film study. You are in the right spot. Or maybe you're just a football fan that wants to have fun, have some great interviews, and get some insight. Well, you are in the right spot. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification bell so you do not miss out, and sit back and let's enjoy the show. What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck. Real football fans, stand up. If you're a football fan, you got to be feeling good right now. You have to be feeling good right now based off what you saw this past weekend and based on what's about to happen starting Thursday. I feel good. You know, when football starts, my spirits is high. You know, my wife loves it because I'm in a good mood until my team start losing. But when my team wins, my family reaps the benefits, y'all. My family reaps the benefits when dad is happy that his team just won a football game. And damn it, this Saturday, I was ecstatic. So we got a lot to talk about. Salute to everyone watching right now, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on TikTok, Facebook, or if you're listening on Spotify or Apple. We appreciate it. And we got a lot to talk about as we wrap up what transpired this past weekend in college football. Had some situations kind of go down this past week if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan when it comes to Micah Parsons. But also, we have some week one predictions. So make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, share, and let everybody know that we are live. Hopefully, everyone's having a good Labor Day weekend. But y'all see, we working, you know what I'm saying? Got my thinking cap on. You know, I got my thinking cap. Salute to all my Stranger Things fans out there. Well, the very first thing I do want to talk about, y'all, is man, oh man. Yeah, Texas fans, any Longhorn fans out there? We might have a little problem. Texas fans, we might have a little problem. So we know that Texas versus Ohio State was the marquee matchup that everyone was waiting on. I got up at like 5 in the morning, got my workout in, hit the grill. Like I was ready to go for that 11 o'clock matchup. You had College Game Day with Lee Corso doing his final College Game Day. The energy was high. Now, personally, I don't know why the hell I wasn't there, because my dog Big Game James, who's the Big Game James, lives in Columbus. He's only a few miles from the stadium. I should have just pulled up, but I didn't have my thinking cap on, right? But this was a marquee matchup that I know a lot of football fans could not wait to see. 1 and 2 pretty much going at it, right? Who was going to be the top dogs when it comes to college football? And you had Arch Manning, had Caleb Downs, who played phenomenal, Colin Simmons, Ryan Wingo, Jeremiah Smith, Cardell Tate, Julian Sayin was starting for his first game. There was a lot of talent out there on the field, and there was a lot of hype when it came to the quarterback in Arch Manning, right? We know the infamous last name, the Manning family. And honestly, I was excited to see Arch Manning play. And I do want to headline with this, y'all. A lot of people, especially for the Cowboys fans, like, oh, this is the guy y'all wanted to replace Dak with. This is the guy you want to replace Dak with. Well, if you listen to me, Linda, I did a pre-video before the game started of college players to watch that could be coming out in the NFL draft that you should keep a close eye on. I did not mention Arch Manning. I mentioned Lenore Sellers, who we'll talk about from South Carolina, but I didn't mention Arch Manning because I never felt Arch Manning unless he had a historical Cam Newton just run through college football type season, he would declare this year. I feel like he's maybe 2027, but possibly after what we saw this past weekend, maybe 2028. So I never had intentions of Arch Manning being in this year's class, though I know a lot of people's been talking about him being QB1. I think we need to pump the brakes on that. Now, I will say this. I do feel like when it's time for Arch Manning, he is going to be ready. When it's his time to get his name called wherever that, so next year is Pittsburgh, this year is Pittsburgh. I'm not sure where the draft is, right? But whenever it is his time to get his name called to go to the NFL, I feel like what we saw this past weekend, he will not be that. But there's a lot of growth, y'all, that this kid has to go through. And as you're saying, he had some pro-type passes. Like it wasn't all bad. And let's keep it a buck if you watch that game. If it wasn't for Carnell Tate making a double snag, there was a lot of incredible catches this past weekend, suits the Miami Hurricanes, right? But if it wasn't for him making the miraculous catch and Arch trying to do the tush push, that game could go either way. So it wasn't like Ohio State just ran through Texas. Texas defense was keeping them in the game. But when it came to Arch Manning, he struggled, right? He struggled with processing, right? The processing speed wasn't up to par. Some of the throws was inaccurate. Simple throws, Arch, the simple throws. I get the big time corner routes, right? The circus routes and, hitting tight end up the seam and double. I get those throws. That can be a little tricky, right? But there were a lot of simple throws that I probably could have made with my old ass, and Arch just missed it. Now, I felt that he was just sped up and he felt like, a deer in the headlight, what he kind of looked like out there, right? Now, let's keep it a buck. Steve, bro, you didn't call a good game. You didn't call a good game for your quarterback. Like, the wide receivers, Wingo and those guys was not getting separations. A lot different. We even got Matthew Golden and Isaiah Bond out there going crazy. A little bit different. I expected a little bit more from Wisner and also C.J. Baxter, who was the starters over Jaden Blue, who's now a Dallas Cowboy. I expected more in the run game. So it's a mixture of things, and what people have to understand, I know we're quick to judge, right? I remember when Wimbiana had a bad summer league game, and everyone was like, oh, Wimby's a bust. Wimby's a bust. He's la, right? When we all knew Wimby was going to be that guy. So internet, they're always kind of quick. They're always kind of quick to rush to judgment. Arch does need work. But what people have to also consider, the defensive coordinator, y'all, for Ohio State, Matt Patricia, he used to have the real Mannings in a blender, like the real ones, right? Matt Patricia used to have NFL quarterbacks in a blender. So for him sitting back and seeing Arch come to the horseshoe in his first start, it was damn near bullying. Because he had Arch's pupils just wide open, especially with that pressure of that Ohio State front. So Matt Patricia was like, oh, this is easy work. I used to handle your uncle. Perfectly fine, right? You're going to be easy work. So I do think that Arch Manning will grow. He'll grow throughout the course of the season. I think by the time it's time for him to get drafted, he'll be a much better prospect. So I'm not trying to say he's a bust. Yeah. He wasn't a good head coach. He wasn't a good head coach, Matt Patricia. But defensive coordinator, he'll put you in a mix, But as far as a head coach, So I feel like just let Arch grow, right? I think sometimes, right, I get the name, whether it's Manning or Sanders or James, like we're just kind of waiting to either see these kids just shoot off like a rocket or even fail. Let him go at his own pace and develop. But there are a lot of developmental things that Arch Manning needs to work on before he gets to being number one draft pick caliber, because some of them throws some little sidearms. Arch, don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? I was going to go through your film, but I'm going to give you a little grace. A little leave those alone, Arch, because that is not it, right? Make a real throw, go through your progressions. If it's not there, you do have some athleticism, use it. Don't abuse it, but use it. But there were some other good games in college football, y'all. I'm not sure what games y'all watched. Let me know in the chat. One that was kind of a surprise to me. Hey, Boise State is different without Junkie out there. Hey, it's different. It was different for Boise State without Junkie out there. Without that monster standing in the backfield. Because USF ran all through Boise State. You know what I'm saying? They drugged them across the field. So that was a massive surprise to me. I was like, I thought Boise was still kind of handling it. They were 25th ranked team. College football, USF came in there and drugged them boys across the field. Now, we do have North Carolina versus TCU tonight. We'll see how Bill Belichick shakes out at the college football level. You know, I don't even want to talk about my game anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I already did enough talking about my game when my Florida State Seminoles beat the Alabama Tide. You know what I'm saying? They beat the Tide, right? I ain't want to talk about my game no more because I think we kind of showed improve out there, but we went and punched them in the mouth. But another great game that we had on Saturday night, Clemson versus LSU. And I have been stating this, y'all. Clemson has the most talented roster in college football when it comes to NFL talent. By the time we get to April, you guys will know damn near the entire Clemson roster with all the talent that they have, from Peter Woods to Avion Terrell to K. Klubnik, to the list goes on and on. Like, Clemson is loaded when it comes to NFL talent. They're going to have probably about 9, 10, 11 draft picks in this year's class just alone. But LSU said we ain't no punks. You know what I'm saying? Hey, LSU says, hey, we from the real Death Valley. Not the little one. We from the real Death Valley, and we seen monsters before. We seen monsters before. You know? And we know LSU has been struggling in openers as of late. They said not no more, and LSU went out there and beat Clemson in a close game. It was a good game, but LSU, they was slow to Nussmeier. You know what I'm saying? Nussmeier looked well. You had Barron. You had the talent all over the field. LSU, they might be ones that kind of sneak up in there. I thought that Alabama would be one of those young teams. Clemson is the team who Death Valley. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Let me take that back. I've been to Clemson. Beautiful place. If you ever want to go to a fun football scene, Clemson is beautiful in the fall. The people are nice. The food is great. Had a good time at the little Death Valley, but it ain't LSU. It ain't SEC football, and you saw that clear separation. So Dabo got some work to do now. You're in the ACC. The schedule will lighten up for you guys, but getting in the CFP, it's going to be a tight race because you had Texas lose, right? You had Clemson lose. You had some other teams that was kind of in the mixture lose. So it's going to be a tight season. And the one thing I will say, because you also had yesterday, you had Notre Dame versus Miami. You know, I know for all my U fans, salute to my guy Mike Tagg. He was out there in attendance at Hard Rock. The one thing I'll say about Hard Rock Stadium, those seats are brutal. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Jerry Jones got me spoiled. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the gambler and Jerry Jones has me spoiled, but Hard Rock Stadium is uncomfortable as hell. You don't have no leg room. You know what I'm saying? You pretty much, back of the seat is pressing against your knee. The seats are hard as hell. So you have no choice but to stand up and cheer because them seats ain't comfortable out there in Hard Rock. I need to upgrade that, right? But Miami went out there. Carson Beck got him a dub, you know? So the NIL money is taking over, right? And I feel like even when it came to Notre Dame yesterday, you know, Jeremiah Love, I expect a little bit more. Jeremiah Love, I expect a little bit more. Was it a touchdown? I believe you're talking about the LSU game. I believe it was. Right? When it comes to Jeremiah Love, hey, bro, you're supposed to be RB1, and it didn't look like it to me week one, right? So we'll see how things change and transition as we go through the course of the season. So a lot of people don't know when it comes to drafting. There's a report called the Bledsoe report. And this is what all the scouts use. I used to have access to it, but I don't have access to it no more. They cut me off, right? But they give you all these prospects, like 700 prospects to watch, and all the scouts across the land have them ranked. So they'll have like Jordan Tyson as number one. So like last year, Luther Burden was number one. He was number one. He was a number one prospect on the Bledsoe report last year going into college football. Then, of course, things change. So when you see like a lot of analysts talk about, oh, he's my number one prospect or he's my number one prospect, a lot of it is because you got access to that Bledsoe report. Sorry to put y'all secrets out there. You know what I'm saying? And you're going off what the scouts are saying, and you kind of, yeah, but that's going to change throughout the course of the season. But as of right now, Jeremiah Love's at the top of the report. Didn't look too good versus Miami. But overall, great weekend of college football. This upcoming weekend, you know, I need better friends, y'all. I need better friends here in the Kansas City area because I'm trying to go to Columbia, Missouri for a rivalry game. Kansas versus Missouri on the road. That is a true rivalry. That is Eagles versus Cowboys. That is what it is when it comes to Kansas and Missouri. Two states that are right next to each other that cannot stand each other. And I'm trying to get all my friends to go, like, let's ride down and go to Missouri like we used to back in the old day. Ah, man, I can't. Son got baseball. Ticket prices are expensive. I don't want to travel that far. So I guess I might have to pull up by myself to Columbia, Missouri, and represent the Jayhawks. Maybe I can talk my wife into going because I went to a Backstreet Boys concert and stood for 3 hours, actually for 5 hours. She could go on the road to Columbia, so we'll see what that happens. But a lot of fun football coming up when it comes to college football. But that's it for college football. But yo, we have a new sponsor, as you guys can clearly see. And salute to Sleeper. Sleeper is a fantasy app that you guys can use anywhere. So I know a lot of you might be in Texas or certain places where it doesn't allow you to actually sports bet. You can download Sleeper and either play fantasy football or DFS. And if you use the code CFO, they are matching 100% up to $100. And we are going to be putting in a lot of work when it comes to Sleeper. Now, this is where I might toot my horn just a little bit, you know what I'm saying, CFO gang, because there's going to be other content creators that have Sleeper, and salute to them, right? Salute to them, right? Get your money, you know what I'm saying? Salute to Sleeper. But there's only one, that really knows how to sports bet for real. It's pretty much my day job. So I will be teaching you guys how to use Sleeper, and let's get this money. I ain't going to tell you just pick a player just to pick it, right? Don't just say Dak is going to throw for 200 yards just for the hell of it because we're Cowboys fans primarily. Nah, I'm going to show you how we're going to really get down when it comes to Sleeper, and we are going to stack this paper all football season, all NBA season. And my number one sport, for those of you who do not know, if you follow me on Instagram, you know, I win a lot of money when it comes to hockey. So we're going to get down with the get down. So download the Sleeper app, use the code CFO. We're going to do some fun stuff. We're going to do segments where I'm going through bets, showing you guys line item by line item how to get down and build these slips the right way. I'm supposed to connect my phone, but I don't have my cord, right, to show you guys. But starting our next show, I'm going to show you guys how to build these slips the right way, and we are definitely going to cash out. I was cashing out all this past week, you know what I'm saying? All this past weekend. Yeah, so Lee says, when is class? Yeah, class will be in session. We will cook up something on Sleeper before the game, because if you go to Sleeper, I'm gonna have to do it you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way because I don't have my phone connected to it, right? But if you go to Sleeper and you'll see something that is just free money right now, right? So right now, if you go to Sleeper, focus, you can get a player promo this Thursday for Dak Prescott to throw more than a yard. That's all I got to do. Just more than a yard. Dak Prescott has to throw for more than a yard. And if Dak doesn't throw for more than a yard, we are SOL. You know what I'm saying? We are SOL. Dak can't get one passing yard, right? So he has to throw for more than 1 yard, right? Focus. All right. And then all you have to do is add that with another bet. So it might be CeeDee Lamb's touchdown, or it might be Saquon Barkley touchdown, whatever we decide to add, and you can have Dak Prescott to throw over for 1 yard and Saquon Barkley's touchdown, and you will cash out and win money. Easy money, and we're damn sure going to take that easy money. One simple play I can give you right now off the top of my head: Dak Prescott to throw for more than 1 yard, Brandon Aubrey more than 1.5 field goals, and then we're just going to walk away with the bag. So salute to our sponsors in Sleeper. And we also have another sponsor as well in Outlier. Yeah, we are sponsored up this year, CFO gang, and salute to all of our sponsors because, one, I wanted to have sponsors that I can work together. So Outlier, they will be the software that we use to build these sleeper picks. It's a sports betting app that I use daily. It's the first thing I look at when I wake up in the morning. So I'm going to show you how to use Outlier. Then I'm going to show you how to go to Sleeper and place the bet. So we're going to have fun. But also the key thing about having these sponsors, y'all, is now I can do whatever I want when it comes to the channel, and they're going to cover it. So Tuck, what are you talking about? Well, typically when I drop film sessions and college film sessions, YouTube says, and they take all the money away, right? They take all the money away because they don't like J Tuck dropping NFL film, or they don't like me dropping college film, right? But now since we have these sponsors, they're going to cover the bill for me of what I would have missed if YouTube wouldn't have took my money. So salute to our sponsors. We got numerous coming up this year. Salute to my agent. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, Jerry. I trust my agent. Sorry, Jerry Jones. I work with my agent. I pass things off to my agent and let my agent handle business. Sorry if that offends you, Jerry Jones. But yeah, so let's see what we got going on in the chat. Salute to everybody joining right now. Florida Cowboys says it's all about the U, Tuck. Hey, October 4th, I'm trying to look at the schedule because I might need to pull up to Tallahassee, Florida State versus Miami. You know, Florida State versus Miami is looking, we should, knock on wood, both be undefeated at the time. Florida State, Miami should be college game day, and it should be a spectacle down there in Tallahassee. I got to find if I can get a flight down to Tallahassee, because Tallahassee is difficult as hell to get to. All right. Hey, Tuck, look out for quarterbacks Malik Washington of Maryland and Castellanos. I don't see Arch Manning as a number 1 draft pick. Yeah, Malik played well for Maryland, and we already know about Tommy Castellanos. He played well as well. Yeah, I don't see Arch Manning as a number 1 draft pick in this year's class. And I just said that earlier. I don't see him in this year's class. Next year or future, yes, I can see it. This year's class, my favorite quarterback from South Carolina is Lenora Sellers. Lenora Sellers, and I said this way back in June. Last year, I told everybody Cam Ward was going to shoot up like a rocket. I'm telling everybody this year, Lenora Sellers is going to shoot up like a rocket. He's probably already up there with the arch slide now. You know what I'm saying? So Lenora Sellers out of South Carolina, he's good. If you watched him play last night, he's fun to watch. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. The hot topic button of the week, man. And I want to talk to y'all, man. How do y'all feel? Are you recovered? Are you over it? So many people was, Tuck, let it go. Tuck, let it go. He's gone. Let it go. Tuck, he's gone. Let it go. Get over it. I'm like, damn, bro. Now, I said this on Twitter, and I kind of caused a stir. But if you're watching on Twitter, I do not care. I do not care if you don't like what I tweeted. It's my Twitter account. I said, I am not going to be one of those people that hates Micah Parsons and wishes him ill. Bro ain't do nothing wrong to me. but give his all since the moment he's gotten to Dallas. All right? When we play him on September 28th, I hope that Tyler Guyton puts him in the dirt. Then after that, shake his hand and wish him the best of luck. That is how I'm going when it comes to this Micah Parsons situation, y'all. I'm not about to hope he gets hurt or hope he falls off a cliff or hope. I saw so many villainous things when it came to Micah Parsons. And I was like, nah, I get it. Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. And when we play Green Bay, put him, Cooper Beebe, I want you to pull around the corner. Tyler Booker, I want you to do a pin and pull and put him in the dirt. And after the game, do your cute little jersey swap and move on. And just move on. And just move on. I'm not going to hate a guy who gave his all when he was in Dallas. Playing with the flu. You know what I'm saying? He came back last year off an injury. Had a defense. I'm not going to hate him and hope he gets hurt so I can say, aha, we was right. I'm not that type of person. Not that type. Now, you might be that type of fan. I don't know. But I'm not that type of person. If Dak Prescott gets traded, I hope Dak Prescott wins the Super Bowl as long as it's not San Fran or Philly or something. If he was to get traded to Denver, I would be pulling for Dak to win the Super Bowl. I pulled for D. Ware to win the Super Bowl. When Jason Witten was in Vegas, I was hoping Jason Witten would get a Super Bowl. I'm not going to wish ill will on players just because the business got in the way and they decide to go elsewhere. That would be like me and Montana are co-workers at a company. He gets a better job offer. He takes that job offer to better provide for his family. Now it's F Montana. I don't rock with you no more, bro. Because you left us. You went to another company and got a raise. What are we doing? Listen. There were a lot of wrong things that Jerry Jones did. And there was a lot of wrong things that Micah Parsons did. I would probably have the blame maybe 65-35, something like that, right? Jerry to Micah. Because Jerry could have got the deal done, right? But ego got in the way. But Micah Parsons made this number one mistake. And if any of you are readers, like I'm readers, if you read books, you know what I'm saying, besides just being on social media all day, you should know this book. 48 Laws of Power. Right? Great book. 48 Laws of Power. I feel like everyone should have read it. I read the 48 Laws and also read the 50 Law from 50 Cent, right? Read them both. But there's a law in the 48 Laws of Power, and it goes a little something like this. Never outshine the master. Y'all know that law? Never outshine the master. It's a law. 48 Laws of Power. Right? Whether that's your boss at work, whether that's your owner / president / GM, it might be your husband or wife. Who knows? Teachers, never outshine the master. And that was the critical mistake that Micah Parsons did, is that, yes, he did stand up for what was right. And I'm proud that he stood up for what's right and had some cojones and not only stood up for himself, but most importantly, stood up for his teammates. But you have to understand, there's a price that comes with that and a sacrifice that comes with that, you know? So that's the number one mistake. So up and coming players, if you want to get paid in Dallas, tuck tip, you treat Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones like the police. You got to. You know what I'm saying? In our community, we don't do a lot of talking to the police. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Jerry and Steven, that's how you got to play it. All right? Ask you about your money and contract. I don't know nothing. No, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Don't know anything. Here's my license. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Keep your mouth shut. The agent. Right? That's how you got to play it. Because I see everyone saying in the chat, just like J-Rod said, now, I have a smart community. I have a real smart community. Not other people have smart communities, but I have a very smart community when it comes to CFO game. Tell me who has been a more consistent performer on the field. Ferg, Bland, Micah. Also, Jared Wayne Jones set up at the podium, opening day press conference, and said that really sparked all of this. He regrets paying Trayvon Diggs and Terrence Steele because they got hurt after. You regretted paying Trayvon Diggs and Terrence Steele because they got hurt after, but you just paid two guys that was hurt and they are coming off their worst productive seasons. Oh, talking out the side of you. Oh, talking out the side of you. Terrence and Trayvon was a problem. Bland and Ferg, which I'm cool with them getting their money. I never want to hate on a player getting their money, but let's keep it a buck, y'all. It wasn't a priority. It wasn't a priority to get this done. So you made Dak Prescott go through a prove-it deal. You made Mike McCarthy go through a prove-it deal. You made the entire defensive coordinator staff that you brought in last year go through a prove-it deal. You were willing to make Micah Parsons go through a prove-it deal, but for some reason, I don't know. Maybe it's the thinking cap that has me thinking a little too much. But if there's anyone that should have been on a prove-it deal, if anyone should have to prove themselves this year, should have been, right? But hey, sometimes things kind of just work in your favor. Sometimes when you put your head down and just don't say anything and you're willing just to be grateful, things kind of happen for you. So we'll see how all this transpires. But, you know, we do have to move on from Micah Parsons. So that's what people's been asking me. Oh, Tuck, move on from Micah Parsons. Okay, I've been trying to. Y'all keep asking me about it. All right. Do I think the Dallas Cowboys are fine without Micah Parsons? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We are fine without Micah Parsons. If we want to be honest, we were fine without Dak Prescott. We were fine. Fine, right? Depends on what your definition of fine is. You know, well, can we win games without Micah? Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. So Chase says Bland and Ferguson wasn't going to make $47 million. Good point. Right? So whenever you are going to be the highest paid at your position, there's always going to be some back and forth, right? And great follow-up question, Chase. I don't think the Cowboys were ever going to pay Micah $47 million. I don't even think that was no negotiations of getting $47 million in Dallas. I think once Micah got traded to Green Bay was sitting on an abundance of money, and they were just so happy to have Micah Parsons, they put extra in the bag. They just dumped some extra in the bag. We just traded and got Micah Parsons on a budget. You know what I'm saying? About shit, 47. Because it depends on who you trust, right? The reports was, these are just reports. I can't confirm anything. This is, I'm going off of my friendly Cowboys reports. Salute to all of them, right? Probably watching right now. That Jerry and Dave had a conversation, and Dave was really trying to make it work to get Micah back on the field. Micah had said in his Green Bay press conference at 12:30, he called Dave, was like, yo, bro, I'm tired. I need to be back on the field. So Dave called Jerry and was trying to work on the negotiations. And Jerry told him, either you play on the 5th year or you leave. I'm not negotiating with you. So I think what really transpired, y'all, just to keep it a buck, egos from both sides got in the way. And that's it. I don't think it had anything to do with football. Didn't have anything to do with the podcast. It was just egos on both sides. And sometimes when you have two big egos colliding, it's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster. And that's what happened. Two big egos, bang. And Jerry Jones, who just dropped a Netflix documentary coining himself as the gambler, was about to show the world, I am the main attraction in Dallas. I am. Says J-Rod has a good point. Let's see what J-Rod said. Yeah, about the injuries. Yeah. Yeah, I would say this. Micah messed up by saying he wanted to take less. Jerry thought he could get him to sign a team-friendly deal. Right. So here is what I'll ask people this, right? Because I think there was a podcast when Micah said that he would take less, okay? He was talking about adding weapons on the team to win a championship, right? So that's what he was saying. So I'll ask you guys, do you feel like the team was moving pieces around and putting a championship contention team as far as a roster on the field? Right? So if I say, you know what, Jerry, I don't need to be highest paid, right? You know, I want a defense. I want to dominate in defense. So if I got to take a pay cut to make that happen, I'll do it. I'll do it, Jerry. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a pay cut. I'll take a pay cut if you're gonna, yeah, if to make some moves, right? And then I'm looking around. My defensive tackle was Mozzie Smith and Jay Toye. We was asking for Stephon Gilmore, and we didn't get no Gilmore. Like running backs, Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, Pickens was cool. So if I'm taking a pay cut, where's my money going? Where is it going? Y'all remember when DeMarcus Lawrence took a pay cut on his deal to save money for Randy Gregory, and they botched the deal anyway. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be like, bro, what? You know? Oh, what? Like, so once again, I think it's just egos colliding, y'all. That's all that happened. Bang. And Jerry is the biggest ego, the brightest star in Dallas. He won. Was Micah reaching out to Jerry at the end before the trade, putting his ego to the side? Yes. And honestly, y'all, what really screwed us this time was it was different from Dak, right? It was different from CD. I felt like the reason this got ugly is because there was no negotiations. There was no negotiations going on at all. So that's why it got ugly. If it was a back and forth, Jerry and Dave have agreed on the money. They agreed on the guarantees, but they still haven't worked out like the voided years or possibly the length of the contract, 5 years versus 4, right? And they were having this back and forth. I believe this could have got fixed. And this is why I was getting concerned the other day. I'm like, bro, we're in the fourth quarter and nobody has done, you haven't even started the negotiations. So when I said Jerry didn't start the negotiations, that let me know he was like, I'm not doing it. You know, you haven't even started it yet. Like, you haven't even started, you know? So I just felt like Jerry felt away by whatever him and Micah discussed. Mommy, daddy. Mommy said you can't have it. You go ask dad, right? It's crazy mentality when you say that, right? And he was just like, you know what? I'm not doing it. And then I feel like once we got Donovan Ezekiel Rock in the second round, he said, I'm really not effing doing it. I'm really not doing it. You know, we've all been there, whether you're men or women. You ever get into a fight with your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and you're just not going to talk to them, right? You're mad about something, and they're in the kitchen slamming pots and pans and stuff, and you're like, she ain't going to say nothing to me. I ain't going to say nothing to her because we're both in our feelings. Right? We've all been there. If you've been in a relationship, we've all been there. We've all been there. Just slamming pots and pans, huffing and puffing, stomping heavy upstairs. I'm talking about my wife. Slamming cabinets. Walk past me, don't say anything. So you're mad about something. It takes someone to finally say, babe, what's the problem? That's all. A simple, babe, what's the problem? Well, I just always feel like I do everything around here and you just don't help enough with the kids and that lies and I'm tired. I'm going through this at work. So now the conversation is started. Now the conversation has started. Hey, I apologize. I possibly could do some more help around the house. I need to help with the kids a little bit more. I've been going through a lot of work. So now you're having the conversations to get things resolved. Micah and Jerry both wasn't talking, and they both were just slamming doors, slamming pots around, sleeping in separate beds. All we needed was, you know what, Micah? Come to my office and let's figure this out. Come to my office. Come to my office. Let's just figure this out. Right? But both sides was, I'm just going to huff and puff and not say anything. Right? And then you lose. Transparency. That's how I got my wife. I was dating a girl. She was upset about something I did, never told me. She wasn't returning my calls or talking to me for like 4 weeks. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to reach out to her no more because she was mad. What happened? Went out, ran into my wife, and sent that chick to Green Bay packing. I'm good. Because you didn't want to speak to me. You see what I'm saying? So that was a situation that really transpired when it came to Micah and Jerry. Both were egos, huffing and puffing. Nobody wanted to talk to either side. Micah wasn't going to say, hey, Jerry, let me figure this out. Jerry, I apologize for what I said. Let's figure this out. I want to be here. Jerry wasn't going to say, hey, Micah, maybe I said some things that were wrong. Let me figure this out. Come to my office. Let's sort this all out. It was, I ain't talking to you. I ain't talking to you. And then now here we are. But Micah's in Green Bay. Like I said, wish him luck. And just like Cal Bundy said, like the stream, y'all. Like the stream. He's in Green Bay. The show goes on. I see all these Eagles content creators right now. They're live streaming right now. They're not going to give a damn that Mike is gone. They are going to try to embarrass us Thursday night. They don't care. They don't care Mike is gone. They are, I see, it's like five Eagles content creators live streaming right now about Cowboys week, right? They don't care the problems that will be going on. We have to be prepared to go out there and play football and execute. How does that happen? Well, Donovan Zikaraku, you got to grow up and got to grow up quick. I know it's unfair to you. I know you don't even have a jersey number right now, bro. But you have to grow up quick. Osa Adigiazua, I know you're our fun, kind of chill, UCLA guy, kind of just good vibes. You got to be a dog Thursday. Osa, this is now your defense. You got to be a dog, Osa. This is your defense now. You're the made man of this defense. I doubt Trayvon's going to be out there, but you are the made man of this defense. Osa has to become somebody offensive coordinators fear. He has to become somebody offensive coordinators fear Thursday, right? Put it on tape, right? Deron Bland, you got the money. Last year was a little up. Show and prove, right? Dante Fowler, Sam Williams, been foaming at the mouth. Sam Williams like a damn Dragon Ball Z character in the gym. Sam, here's your time. I've been seeing dog abbeys and a leash dog and all sorts of stuff on Twitter. I don't want to see it on Twitter. You have to go out there. So somebody has to go out there on the defensive side of the ball and say, you know what? I got it. I got it. Put it on me. Put it on me. And I do think that we have the guys that can do that, but you're going to have to make it transpire on the field on Thursday. If not, zip them up. Zip them up, right? And it can happen, y'all. It can happen. I haven't done, breakdowns on how we can beat Philly because I don't even know if Cowboys fans want to even hear that shit. I don't even know if y'all even want to just watch a film session of how to exploit Philly in their defense. I don't really care. Y'all just want me to say F Philly and we're going to win by 30, right? Cool. Get it, right? But we can do it. And you know how I figured out and where my thinking cap came on how the Cowboys can beat Philly? When I was watching my nose. When I was watching my nose versus Bama, that light bulb clicked off. One, it was a very similar situation where Florida State was the massive underdogs, right? They had a brand new offensive coordinator in Gus. They had a brand new defensive coordinator in Coach White. They had a bunch of just new players from the transfer portal. Nothing really carrying over from last year. Offensive line was pretty much brand new. Wide receivers pretty much brand new. And we hit them by surprise and beat them in their own game. Beat them in the trenches, beat them on the ground, right? We had plays and reverses. We hit them with the elements. We hit them with the kitchen sink. It's the same way I feel like the Dallas Cowboys should beat the Philadelphia Eagles. You have to match their physicality. You can't shy away from it. So, Shotty, if we go out there and hand the ball off to Javonte Williams and he gets stopped in the backfield, first 2 carries, go right to him again, right? Don't abandon it, right? So, however that you decide this is how we're going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, you go out there and you commit to that. But also, how did the Florida State Seminoles beat the Alabama Tide? They had a player, and as crazy as it sounded, said, I don't give a, we're going to beat them. Said it publicly, and the team rallied behind him. You're going to need somebody. You're going to need somebody on this Dallas Cowboys team to have a little edge to them and say, you know what? They are the Super Bowl champs. I saw what they did to the Chiefs. Fuck them. Fuck them. I don't give a fuck. Fuck them. Fuck Saquon. Fuck A.J. Brown. Fuck Smitty. Fuck Hurts. Fuck them. We're going to go out there and we're going to beat their ass. And the whole team has to rally. Now, it can't be someone who's not playing, right? You know what I'm saying? It can't be someone that's not playing, right? Somebody that is going to play needs to have that attitude and get that into the locker room. That is F Philly week. I don't care what they did last year. We're going to go out there and punch them in the mouth and commit to it. That's how you're going to win. If you try to play timid, like, it's 4th and 1, and I don't know, maybe we should punt. Mike Norvell, 4th and 1, 4th quarter, backed up in his own territory, said, you know what? I know we're playing Alabama. I know it's a 7-point game and things are starting to swing. F them. Go for it. That Florida State victory was a big cojones win, bro. That's how you go on the road and beat Philadelphia. Someone has to have big cojones. Dak Prescott, it's on you now. It's on you. And I will say this publicly, and a lot of people might get upset with me. Am I a Dak lover? I don't know. Am I a Dak hater? I don't know. But I will say this, Dak Prescott, no more excuses. No, not from me. No more excuses. 0 from me. Now, other content creators and media people might still excuse it. Dak Prescott will get 0 excuses from me. Here's why. When they moved on from Mike McCarthy, your guy, hiring Brian Schottenheimer, you ain't say nothing. When they moved on from Dez Bryant way back then and gave you Allen Hurns, you ain't say nothing. When they move on from Amari Cooper and gave you James Washington, you ain't say nothing. When they moved on from Micah Parsons, your defensive leader, you ain't say nothing. So when you don't say nothing, what you are putting out there is that it's okay that those guys are gone. I can handle it. That's what you're agreeing. Hey, I get it, right? We're going with the first time. We're replacing a Super Bowl head coach with a first-time head coach, right? Don't worry about it. I'm the quarterback. I'm the $1 million man. I can handle it. Right? Moving on from Micah Parsons, sending him packing to Green Bay. Oh, I gave you corporate answer. Okay, cool. I understand it. You're saying, don't worry that Mike is gone. I can handle it. So, I want to kind of give you guys some fair warning. It ain't going to be look at his offensive line and, Brian Schottenheimer's a first-time head coach, so just give it some time. And, look at the running backs. The running backs are not good. But Dak is playing well, but the defense is struggling a little bit. Let's see if they can come around. Dak played outstanding, but defense can't get you're not going to get any of that from me anymore because you're signing off on all this. So, just want to put that out there. But I do feel like the Dallas Cowboys will be perfectly fine moving on from Micah Parsons. Now, what we have to see is how are they going to handle these cap value and also these picks. If you don't get active in free agency next year and it's still just re-signing a few guys here and there, some one-year cheap guys with this $47 million that you say, if you go in the draft and you draft another right tackle with the pick you got from Green Bay, trying to strengthen our offensive line, and you don't get dynamic game changers, it's going to look real funny in the light. But I think that Jerry Jones is going to try to be aggressive with this stuff to say, aha, I made the right decision, and we'll go from there. So that's my thoughts. Like I said, we'll talk about the game as we get closer to the game, but they can beat Philly. You're going to have to show a side of yourself that you just haven't shown before, Dallas, and go out there, beat them at their own game, and be physical and man up and have some big courage. Now, hopefully Brian Schottenheimer will bring that, because here's why I'm kind of leaning towards the Cowboys in this game. Typically, the Cowboys, when they are in fight or flight mode, where they're fearing for their lives, right? Scared, on the road, bright lights, how they're going to win it. Oh my God, overwhelming. No one's believing in us. That is typically when the Dallas Cowboys do play their best football. It's when everyone is saying, I picked the Cowboys to win this one. They got this one. They're a Super Bowl team, la, 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 and singing their praises. That's when I worry about the Cowboys. Cowboys don't lose at home. That's when I worry about the Cowboys. But when the Cowboys are being counted out, doubted, 7.5-point underdogs, like, there's no chance they're going to win this game. Dark cloud just sent Micah Parsons to Green Bay. I feel like this is going to be a game where they rally and they'll beat Philadelphia. Everyone sings their praises, and then we'll slide versus the Giants or something like that, right? So that's just my thoughts when it comes to the game. Darrell, what's going on with you, dog? Says, at some point in the game, you have to be committed to running the football. If this team wants to be taken seriously, they will have to show they can dominate in the trenches. Facts. And here's the fun part. So to my dog, Rome, CFT. All right. Off season is over, y'all. Off season is over. Off season is over. So there's no more expecting. There's no more hoping, wishing, thinking, possibly interviews, dissecting. It is now show us time. If it was Dallas Cowboys are coming out there with this high energy and we're going to be physical and we're going to dominate the line of scrimmage and we're going to do all this, right? Show us. It's show us time, right? No more talking, it's show us. Them interviews, Shotty, can't do you no good no more, right? Those camp clips can't save you. It is time to show us. And we'll sit back, go to the film, and observe. And if it's looking funny in the light, then you know that we will address it. So yeah, he's got, Pierre Copian was crazy. You traded your best player away and had a bad defense with Micah. No running game. You think the Cowboys are going to beat the Eagles? Yeah, it's football, bro. It's a football. Any given Sunday. Shout to Jamie Foxx. Yeah. So boom, boom, boom. All right, so let's get into some of these fun matchups that we got this weekend. Sunday football is back. Bang, bang. We have Thursday night football. Cowboys at Philadelphia is going to be a fun one. Then they go to Brazil, Chiefs and Chargers. That's going to be a fun game, right? Chiefs and Chargers out in Brazil is going to be a fun game. I think that the Chargers are trying to thin the window when it comes to Kansas City. Trying to thin the window when it comes to Kansas City. Got an NFC South. Got an NFC South matchup between the Bucs and the Falcons. Think the Bucs should handle that one pretty easily. I think they'll be all right. They should run through Atlanta. All right, with Michael Penix being the quarterback. Bengals and the Browns lean towards the Bengals. I feel like Joe Burrow will be able to handle Cleveland. Cleveland ain't got no quarterback, so Bengals will handle that. Dolphins, Colts, Dolphins. Carolina and Jacksonville's a fun little draft matchup. If you love a bunch of draft kiddos, right, you're going to have Ted McMillan going against Travis Hunter. That's going to be a fun matchup. Probably swinging towards Jacksonville on that one. Raiders, Patriots, Pete Carroll, Ashton Genty, Geno. Go with the Raiders. Cardinals versus Saints. Doubt Kellen Moore gets the job done in his first head coaching job. So I would go with the Cardinals on that one. Then looking for revenge. All summer 16. All summer 16. You got the Steelers versus the Jets. A-Rod versus the Jets. I feel like the Steelers are going to be equipped, right? I feel like the Steelers, A-Rod, got Jalen Ramsey out there, TJ Watt, DK Metcalf. Go with the Steelers. Washington versus the Giants. This is going to be a fun one. Because I know them Commanders fans. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm not mad at you, ZM. ZM, my dog, I see you trolling in the chat about the Cowboys versus Eagles. Go ahead, bro. Troll in the chat because I miss Eagles fans. I miss y'all dearly because these Commanders fans, they're out of control, dog. These Commanders fans are out of control. I miss Eagles fans. I really miss y'all. I cannot do these Commanders fans. Eagles fans, I miss y'all. I miss you. I can't with these Commanders fans. It's just out of control, right? Them boys got blown out in the NFC Championship game. And you would have swore they having banner night versus the Giants. They were getting blown out in the NFC Championship game as some badge of honor. You got embarrassed. You got drugged all across that field. Cooper Rush ain't even get drugged like that. But they love it. All right. Titans versus Broncos. Broncos will win that game, but I'm excited to see Cam Ward. San Francisco versus Seattle. NFC West matchup. I'm not sure where San Francisco currently lies. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure where San Francisco currently lies. Got Sam Darnold. Probably swing towards Seattle. And a fun matchup. Micah, here you go. Have at it. Welcome to Green Bay. Got the Lions. You got the Lions. Fun matchup. Fun matchup. Yeah. Going with Detroit to win this one. But Ben Johnson gone. So we'll see if there's still that creativity in the offense without Ben Johnson. Texans versus Rams. That's kind of an even matchup. Love what the Rams did last year. You know they got my nose out there. Texans, you know, they were hot. CJ Stroud's rookie year. Kind of faded last year. Joe Mixon, I think, is going to be out. I'm going to go with the Rams on that one. And then Sunday night, that's a banger. That's a banger. Baltimore at Buffalo. MVPs versus MVPs. The NFL did a good job week one. You know, the college football did a good job, but NFL did a good job week one. Yeah, they don't keep us watching all day. Buffalo at home is tough to beat. I'm gonna still go with Baltimore to win that one. And then on Monday night, you have the Vikings versus Caleb Williams. I'm gonna go with the Vikes. I'm gonna go with the Vikes to win that game versus the Bears. The Bears. So fun NFL matchups, y'all, across the board. We know the Cowboys and Eagles kick off. And it's going to be a fun one. And like I said, especially all my Cowboys fans out there, we will get to see, are we men or are we mice? All the talking and stuff is cool. All the press conferences and stuff is cool, right? But now it's time to see what you're really about. And, yeah, we are going to get to it. So like I said, appreciate y'all tuning in. Having fun, y'all. Salute to our sponsors once again. Sleeper, use the code CFO to get 100% matching up to $100, right? And then we're going to make some picks. Also, salute to our other sponsor, an Outlier, right? So this is how we're going to get down with the get down, right? So this is the tool that we're going to use to build up these sleeper picks, right? So this is baseball right now. So I put this one together. Brian Rochio, right? Look at his doubles. So this is all information. You can click on games here. Get all the analysts who think the game's already started, right? So we can come here, look at the games, tell you everything you need to know. Insights, analytics, alternate run lines, all the fun stuff, right? All the stuff that you need, right? I always tell people, bet smart, not with your heart. Don't just pick on teams because you're a fan of the team or you heard someone at the barbershop. Now we're going to bet smart. We're going to get insight, right? We're going to look at the line movement. We're going to look at all these different details as we are building our slips, getting ready to put them on sleeper, and we are going to cash out, CFO gang, and have some fun. So once again, go download Sleeper and use that code CFO to get 100% match up to $100. That means they're going to give you a free $100. You put $100 in, they'll give you a free $100 just to play with. Free money. And we're going to have some fun and cash out. So I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Like I said, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Got some incredible guests coming up. We'll have some fun, do some giveaway stuff. A lot of football coverage. Got some film sessions in the queue. College football film sessions. NFL film sessions in the queue as well. Haven't forgot about the film. People are like, yo, Tuck, where's the film? We're going to get to it as soon as the season starts on Thursday. We're going to have all the film you need. But if you love talking football with context, having a good time, no hot takes, just sitting here with good people who like talking football, you're in the right spot. I had this conversation the other night with a few friends of mine, and it's like, you know what? I've built this community to be unique, special, knowledgeable. I need to focus here. You know, I get caught up in being in Twitter and being in Instagram and being on YouTube and being on that and being in Facebook. And I understand now, not every football fan wants to be educated, which is perfectly fine. Not everybody wants to know what is a bear front, right? Tuck, why does it say that your rocking safety is going from a 2-high shell to a cover 3? Not a lot of football fans want to know about mirror match zones and, you know, and speed steps and all sorts of slam techniques and deuce blocking and cut blocking and wham blocking and pin and pulls and, you know, read options and outside zone and inside zone and quarterback progressions and all sorts of stuff. Yankee concepts, Hank concepts, flood concepts, mesh concepts. Not everybody wants to know about what really goes on in having real football conversations, but I built a community of people that do, right? So if I only have 20,000 subs on this channel that really want to talk football the right way, then damn it, we're going to stay at 20,000 subs. Now I'm perfectly fine with that because as y'all see, I got guaranteed contracts now. You know what I'm saying? I got guaranteed money. Whether this video does 40,000 views or 400 views, I am guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? I got guaranteed contracts now. So, you know what I'm saying? I can play with that certainty. but I built this community full of people that want to talk ball. My guy, East Coast Gridiron in the building. Follow him. They love talking ball, right? Doing things the right way. We can have fun. We can be entertaining. We can dance and be silly. I got buttons too. I got buttons and all sorts of stuff. But we are going to keep the main thing, and that is football for real football fans. So I appreciate you all. Comment, like, subscribe. Turn on that notification bell if you haven't already. Like I said, we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And if you just want the audio version, just type in CFO Sports, whether you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We will be there as well for those of you who cannot get enough. I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. Football season is here, and Cowboys fans, it is what it is, but now we got a game to prepare for.